And now we come to our seventh presenter, Daniel Murnane from the School of Physical Science, and his topic, A Most Natural Universe.
In the particle collider at CERN, we've reached an unprecedented level of precision and understanding of the subatomic world. And it's a strange place with quantum weirdness and a zoo of 17 unique particles that describe almost everything that we see and experience in the universe. The discovery of the Higgs particle is the final piece of that puzzle that we call the standard model of particle physics. And it's the Higgs that gives the whole theory its mass. But the Higgs is notorious for being extremely unnatural. So imagine if you took a glass of wine and put it in the middle of a table with some kids running around. You could expect it off or leave it untouched, but you wouldn't expect to come back and find it teetering perfectly on the edge. But when we looked with the collider, we found the Higgs mass teetering perfectly on the edge of the narrowest table ever made, and the violent conditions of the Big Bang hadn't knocked it off. That's extremely unnatural, right? But the Higgs is unusual in other ways. CERN produces these Higgs particles, and when they die and break apart, we piece through the bones to reconstruct their skeleton. And the Higgs is an animal we've never seen before. Basically, we think we've discovered a platypus. You see, everything that you can touch around you is made of matter particles, and you interact with them via force particles. The Higgs is a matter particle that behaves like a force particle. It's very strange. So this platypus has fur and lives in water and lays eggs, and nobody knows what the hell it's doing there. So perhaps we haven't discovered a platypus. Instead, I propose we've found a duck and a beaver stitched together. That's a more natural explanation, right? Since we've already seen plenty of ducks and beavers before. Now take that glass of wine and stick it on a much more wide table. In this duck-beaver scenario, my research shows that the glass isn't perched precariously anymore. It's stable. That's what I mean by a natural model. And I'm working to find the very best of these models. If the Higgs is made up of smaller particles, we get back a much more natural universe. Problem is, there's dozens of ways of combining these smaller particles, and each way has thousands of ways of fitting with the measured data. To solve this, I've taken our original problem of naturalness and used it as a way of measuring how believable each combination is. So I've worked out a general way of calculating the naturalness of any physical model, which I then teach to machine learning software. And this supercomputer quickly and efficiently hunts for natural models that describe the world around us. We live in an era of science where we're blessed with thousands of new theories that fit with measured data or could be made to fit. So I'm advocating a search for new physics with the condition that a model shouldn't need divine intervention to work properly. A measure of naturalness, like the one I've designed, will tell us where to cast our net in the huge ocean of valid new theories. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Daniel, for that. I'm just curious, do you think as humans we have an innate desire or need that things actually be stable and natural? I was sort of a bit intrigued by the previous contestants' need to bring religious certainty into everything. I'm just wondering, in the modern age, maybe research like this and the facilities that support it are our sort of modern cathedrals. So it's a bit disturbing if the modern cathedrals are convincing us that everything is unstable. I'm just wondering, are we innately biased towards stability and there is a reason why things exist?
Well, that's maybe not up to me to say. Maybe that's up to an evolutionary biologist. But yeah, I guess, there's two solutions, isn't there? There's either we do live in an unstable universe or an unpredictable universe, and then the only reason that we're here is the anthropological principle, which is that the only way we can be here is that the universe let us be here in order to be able to ask the question of why we are here. That's a solution, but that's not a very physical question. That's a metaphysical question. The best I think a physicist can do is say, assuming the universe has good reasons for why it is the way it is, what's the best way that we can describe it without, praying down in the cathedral and asking for divine intervention to make these sort of physical theories work properly. Yeah.